the rest DPDA or Dinas Pendidikan Daerah Aceh that we cannot find in other province in Indonesia. So Aceh has a special or the specific dinas or department for developing or for responsibility to the development of the daya, or we call it as pesantren or the Islamic boarding school. And then in educational process of pesantren or daya or Islamic boarding school, there are some frictions among educators and in the operational matters to the issue of the ideological principles. Pesantren also has an organizational structure that creates a hierarchy of duties and authority and decision making. The gap between the expectation and the employment creates the conflict of interest that makes educational organization become political. So here the political in education, it means there are some ways or some art in developing the organization by using their self or their own self. Okay, and then this study was conducted to answer the question of how pesantren leader or the kiai or the policies as a part of political organization of Pondok Pesantren or Daya in Aceh. So the researcher analyzed and record the systematic structure of the problems that related to the political issues and the policies of pesantren leaders. As a limitation of the problem, the politics relate to the leader is in maintaining of the value of pesantren organization. So we get a focus of this research in Darul Amin, pesantren Darul Amin or pesantren perbatasan or daya perbatasan Darul Amin in Aceh. Okay, we do or we read research by using a comparative data in written or spoken form for the people and
Excuse me, Mr. Hyrule, your voice is not clear. Something wrong with your internet connections. Mr. Hyrule, maybe something wrong with your internet connection, so your voice we cannot hear clearly. Okay, I think there's something wrong with the connection of Mr. Hyrule, so it's end the presentations. While Mr. Hyrule, your connection's stable, your connection. How about your connection now? I see you are in the room now. Can you hear my voice? Mr. Hyrule, again, the host is not allowing me to unmute. Please, Mr. Wilson Jeprianto, please allow the participants to unmute their. Mr. Hyrule, how about now? Not yet. The problem is the participant cannot unmute their microphone, so they cannot. Please wait. The committee trying to fix the problem. Okay, just wait. The committee trying to fix the problem. Once again, for all the participants, if you have any questions, you can write in the chat box and will be answered in the question and answer session. And now the committee trying to fix the problems. And how about now, Mr. Khairul? Can you unmute your microphone? Not yet. Okay, still wait.
Pak Ishak,
Yes.
excuse me. Probably we can go on to Miss Utui because I already unmute her. Miss Utui.
Okay,
Okay.
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 Sorry. Before we are going to the Mr. Utui, once again, sorry for Mr. Hoyle because the committee trying to fix the problem, and you will continue after the Mr. Utui present the paper. So we are sorry for this problem. And now we are going to the next presenters, and the next presenters will be delivered by the second presenters will be delivered by Utui Tatang Suntani Sudarmandanim Itre Apriyanti with the title of the paper, English Language Teachers' Perceptions on Educational Supervision in Relation to their Professionalism, a case study of English language teachers in Lahat. Mr.
Okay.
Utui, are you ready to present your paper?
Ready? Please let me share my PPT in that chat column because I use HP.
Okay, please send please send your presentation to the chat, and I'll open in my computer.
Please let me. Mohon bantu saya untuk menampilkan PPT saya.
Yes,
Karena
yes.
saya menggunakan HP. Yes.
Yes. Please share your presentation.
Okay.
And I'll show and I'll open in my computers. Okay. So this is your presentation, isn't it?
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks you for opportunity moderator. I will present my research article with the title English language teacher perception on education supervision in relation to their professional. A case study of English language teacher in Lahat. Okay, I will start from introduction, please. Education is a conscious effort which is intentionally geared to achieve the demanded purpose. The purpose of education is no other to improve to quality human resource. One way to improve the quality human resource in by conducting learning process in school. The most crucial part in this process is teacher. Therefore, they are needed to be led and development continuously in order to improve the quality human resource and themselves. In relation to English teaching, teacher competence in English should be improved not only in the area of language proficiency but also language use. In Indonesia, the education supervision for English teacher have been done since 2005 relates to education constitution. Uh, State that teacher supervision become a commercial enterprise and supervision are needed to make sure that customer get will their 5 word. However, the success of education supervision as started above closely depend on language teacher perception themselves. How the perception education supervision will result in their professionalism. If the teacher better than who perception education supervision as a requirement to fill in the paper work formality and regulation, this research will attempt to see what percentage of English teacher to education supervision. Next method.
Miss Judith, please, the next.
Next method. The research was conducted at their junior high school in Lahat, namely SMA Negeri 1 Merapi Barat, Lahat, SMA Negeri 2 Lahat, and SMA Negeri 4 Lahat. The subject of the research was 3 English teachers to have taught English for more than 5 years. The consideration was all of them have been supervised before, thus the method, the method used searched the from of case study. Case study is a qualitative approach which investigates a contemporary phenomenon, which is real life context and the boundaries between phenomenon and context that are not clearly seen. In collecting data, the reader used their data collection technique, namely interview, classroom observation, and document analysis. In the side, interview will be conducted individually to the respondent. Open-ended question with deliberate so that two participants could be voice their experience unsconced by any perceptible whatever to make her interview flexible. Semi-structured interview was used to reader development and interview protocol that include a list of questions or topic to be addressed the interview with participant. However, the reader could change the order of question. The result and discuss result all the teacher with life then education. Please share to PPT.
Miss
and
Judith,
result and discuss.
Miss Judith, please, the next slide. Now, result and discussion. Thank you.
I cannot forget. Okay. Moreover, conduction education supervision result in affecting teaching awareness. All the teacher were in line. The education supervision affected the teacher awareness. They said that the result and education supervision reflected their teaching quality. Thus, they could resolve their weakness in the teaching. It was similarity with research by Arikunto that said their functional of education supervision lie improving learning quality. Okay. The result also showed that after conduction education supervision, all the teacher had improved in the managing the class. Besides that, education supervision also result in enriched assessment for two students. It helped them in vary their assessment, not only formal tests, but also informal tests. Assessment was very important to check student thinking skill and problem solving skill and project by project skill. It also called to be used as a reflection of teacher competence in making assessment. Okay, conclusion. After conducted to research a teacher perception on education supervision a relationship to their professionalism. The result can be conducted to that the teacher believe education supervision as an on to observe to way teacher teach in the classroom accord. Number two, the teacher feel the improvement is assessing their student. They got development in their teaching in the term of using various teaching media and audiovisual facility. They not like man. Thank you very much. The joined MGMP in improve the professionalism. They be able to handle ICT in this class. One, the teacher took TOEFL test and all them had willingness to continue the education improve their professionalism. Unfortunately, they did not write teaching journal as their teaching reflection. IT enough. Thanks for attention. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. UKIToiCES Suntani, for your great presentations. And now we come to the question and answer session. And in the chat box, there are questions. The question is, are these activities similar to lesson study? Is it excuse me, Mr. UKIToiCES Suntani? There are a question from Adi Rasahadi, and the question is, are these activities similar to lesson study? Mr. UKIToiCES, please answer the question. Oh, the microphone is. Sorry. There's something wrong with the microphone, maybe.
Okay,
Okay,
thanks
okay,
for
okay.
answer. Our case activities material lesson study, not research area in Lahat.
Okay.
I think it can be continued presenter. I will please contact my WhatsApp and I share in the chat column. Thanks. Matur suwun.
Thank you, Mr. Uti Tatang, for your answer. And once again, we would like to say thanks to Mr. Atang Suntani for your great presentations and also your for answer the questions. Hopefully the presentation will be beneficial for everybody. Thank you. Now we are going to the third presenters, and the third presenters will be delivered by Mr. Perdika Ruru and Teresim Kabanga. Are you in the meeting, sir?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry for the right. I'd like to present the topic of my research. Right. Cryptolithic, the literate field oriented book for.
Yes, thank you. So, Mr. Perdika Ruru will going to present a paper entitled "Developments of Physical Natural Science Learning Devices Using PIFME Models to Increase the Reasoning Powers of Learners." You have 15 minutes, including question and answer session. Mr. Perdika Ruru, the time is yours.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. Shalom, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the time given to me presenting my article. This research was conducted by Perdika Ruru. Saya share dulu ya.
Please say your presentation, sir.
Good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this research was conducted by Perdika Ruru together with my friend to Teresam Kabanga, with the detailed development of physical natural science learning device using PIFME models to increase the reasoning power of learners. From the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas Kristen Indonesia Toraja. Introduction. Background and
you slideshow your presentation.
Kok enggak berubah? Kenapa ini enggak berubah? No presentation.
You can click the slideshow in the bottom of your computer, sir.
Or
Yes. Those buttons.
Ini?
atau tekan F5 langsung, Pak.
Coba
F5 mungkin.
Tidak. F5 ya. Enter F5. Coba.
Apa itu muncul? Yeah, it's okay, sir. Yeah, you can continue your presentation. It's okay.
Okay.
Yes, just continue your presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, introduction, and this research is my motivated by generally teacher have not developed learning device that can develop the reasoning power or learners. Two, learning tools developed by teacher have not led to multi-interaction of learners in learning. And purpose, develop basic natural learning tools by using the FIPME model to increase the reasoning power of learners. The development model used is the Bloom model wide 5-stage, namely preliminary investigation. And the preliminary investigation at this stage, it is done problem analysis and analysis of the needs of learning device use and school and literature studies and analysis of related previous research. In addition, early and analysis, student analysis, material analysis, task analysis, and formulation of learning goals are also carried out. And phase design, at this stage, it is done to design a format, pattern of learning device, and research instrument. And phase relation construction. At this stage, it is done preparation of learning device and research instruments and draft one. And phase 4, evaluation and revision. At this stage, it is done validation, revision, file trial, and analysis of trial result data, and revision to final product. Phase 5, implementation. At this stage, it is done explained trial. Learning tools developed include teaching material, learning implementation plans, RPP, and student worksheets, LKPD. The device developed must meet the validity and practicality and effectiveness. Learning tools. The result of the analysis of data on validity, practically, and effectiveness can be seen in the following table. I am sorry. Easy to table. And research result. Data on validity of learning device, such as in the table, show that device developed have met the validity of the arena can be tested. Learning device validity data. Learning device average score, category, and conclusion. A learning device and teaching material, and average 67 category valid, and conclusion can be tested. And learning implementation plan RPP average score 125.67 category valid, and conclusion can be tested. And learning revised student worksheet LKPD average 83 category valid, conclusion can be tested. And learning device practicality data, aspect acid, average score, and category. The implementation of learning, average score 47, category very practical. Teacher responsive, average 76.5, category very practical. And the student responsive, average 71.9, category very practically. And learning device effectiveness data, aspect assisted, average score, and category. Student activities, average score 90.4, category very effective. And power operation, average score 70, and category very effective. And aspect assisted learning outcome, average score 77.90 C. And conclusion. Learning device developed wide technique model meet valid, practical, and effective criteria, making them feasible for use in the rural school. Learning device developed are able to make teacher and learners interact with each other and help learners in developing their reasoning power. Thank you for Mr. Pawarangan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pedicaroli, for your great presentations. And for all the participants, have any question, you can write in the chat box, and Mr. Pedicaroli will answer. Okay, because there's no question, sir. So once again, thank you for your great presentations, and see you in the other conference. And because there are some problem with Mr. Khairul Anwar, and now we're going to continue the presentations. Khairul Anwar, are you ready to continue your presentation? Okay, please, Mr. Khairul Anwar, the time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Hello. Everybody, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes. Please just continue the presentation. We can hear you clearly. We can hear you clearly.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, Mr. Ishak Pawarangan, and all the ladies and gentlemen in this conference. I'd like to represent of my paper or our paper entitled Sustainability Development of Pesantren, a study of politics organizational. Okay, this research was conducted by Muhammad Ali Gunawan and then me myself, Hairul Anwar, and then Muhammad Anggung Manoso Prasetyo is my friends. He is also here in our rooms. Okay, Mr. Anggung, welcome and nice to see you here. And the last is Miss Elsa Purwandari. She is here also. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the first I'd like to say, or I'd like to present our paper with the first part of introduction. One of the important roles of educational institution is to shape the behavior of society. This connection is not only interrelated but also as a functional relationship. It means that educational institutions play an important role in shaping the political behavior in society. So I mean, or we mean in this research, the political behavior, it's not a political in general, but we conduct or we deserve that there are also, or there is also a political behavior in a society, and of course in an educational institution. That is the point. And then the next, Dayah or pesantren in Aceh province is a legacy of culture that contributes significantly to maintain the stability of the socio-cultural of Aceh society. However, it will take time for Dayah to be recognized. In Aceh, we know that the term of pesantren or an Islamic boarding school, we call them, or the people call the pesantren or Islamic boarding school as a dayah. So dayah means pesantren, or dayah means the Islamic boarding school. So there are some rules or maybe some regulation about this dayah, of course, and especially in Aceh Regency. In fact, after the recognition was obtained, the problem even came from the management itself. So it's inevitable that many pesantren or dayah that appeared and then disappeared. So after they get the permission or get the what we call the law or the recognition from the government, some of pesantren, some can survive and they are appear, but some disappear because of the management itself. So therefore, the government of Aceh established Dayah Department of Education Aceh or Dinas Pendidikan Dayah Aceh. So this is the special what we call department, the special department only in Aceh that we can find, and we cannot find in other country, in other province in Indonesia. So there we can find one and only Dinas Pendidikan Dayah Aceh that organize or maybe manage the pesantren or Islamic boarding school in Aceh province. To build Islamic boarding school in Aceh, so the PDA provides education training to improve competence of teachers and foster infrastructure. So there is a specific department in Aceh government to recognize or to support and to maintain, to manage the development or the survival of Islamic boarding school in Aceh itself. Okay. Okay. Next, in the educational process of pesantren or dayah, there are some frictions among educators in the operational matters to the issue of the ideological principles. Pesantren also has an organizational structure that creates a hierarchy of duties and authority and decision making. It is maybe start from the management, the top management, and then the middle and the lower management. The gap between the expectation, the employment creates the conflict of interest that makes educational organization becomes political. So here's the political can include in education aspect because of there are some conflict or maybe there is some authority between the leader or between the leader and also the follower as well. Okay. So this study was conducted to answer the question of how pesantren leader policies as a part of political organizational of Pondok Pesantren or Dayah in Aceh. So we try to answer this question in the discussion next, and then the researchers analyze and record a schematic structure of the problems that related to the political issues and the policies of pesantren leaders. As the limitation of the problem, the politics related to the policy of the leader in maintaining his legitimacy to mean the value of pesantren organization. So here we keep conducting, or we keep researching the data by using the main and the second data of pesantren Darul Amin or Dayah Darul Amin Perbatasan Aceh. Okay, the method that we use in this research is the comparative qualitative study. This paper is an empirical observation for 10 years involved in the process of Dayah Perbatasan management. How do the manager, how do the leader of the pesantren manage the pesantren in Perbatasan? We try to collect and we try to research by using observation for 10 years. And then the qualitative method is the research procedure that obtain descriptive data in written or spoken from for the people and their behavior, which is being observed. So we observe the leader and then the stakeholders related to the development or developing of this Islamic boarding school or Dayah in Perbatasan. The research approach is the qualitative research with diary method. Okay, the results and discussion that we find after doing this research is the first. It's about the politics of policies. Politics is all the matters in action. It's about the policies in education, also the strategies, etc., regarding the leadership that relate to the decision making and the public policies, including activities which aim to innovate the structure of society, such as shift in political power from one leadership to another. So here there are some politics in the policies that we can arrange. We can focus the policies in education of Dayah or pesantren or Islamic boarding school. And the second is about the conflict of interest. Okay, the educational institution through a system approach are the management of the input process and output as well of the educational resources, including the teachers. In the word of pesantren, and we base the pesantren with stressing the word of the pesantren, teachers are called the educators because teaching is different with education, with educator. Teaching is different with educating. Teaching in the learning process is formal time. We teach the students in a formal time, whereas the education is a learning process that is not limited to the classroom or only formal hours. So we can educate our children, we can educate the students. It's not only in a formal form, not in a form of the formal institution, but also all the time. So because of this, the pesantren with all its dynamic always implement the educational process for 24 hours. Therefore, it can be understood that education is both teaching. So I mean, it means there is that the process of education in pesantren, the duration of the process education is for 24 hours, and then the process of educate the santri or the students is more than in a formal hours as the school, as we know. If teach, we only teach in a formal school, maybe start from the 7 in the morning and then at 1 p.m. it goes end. But for education or the education process, it will long lies during the process of education itself. So in a point of pesantren, the education is more than teaching. Okay. The politics of policies, the pesantren leader, the pesantren or Islamic boarding school is the predestined as a plural education institution so that the integration should be fostered. Okay, and for why should there be assumption that pesantren are advanced and advanced? It's highly relevant to the theory of interest as part of organizational politics. Okay, and then of course we have found some obstacles to the system revitalization. Okay, the politics contained in several policies that have been mentioned are not without obstacles. It is necessary to form a system to maintain the stability of the management process that is already running. So how can we manage the process of management that running in a pesantren? It's very important to manage or to develop the pesantren itself. So, and then the next is the post-conflict strategy. If there are some conflicts, so we have to solve the conflict. And of course, there are some post-conflict strategy. After a series of policies, it's necessary to take strategic steps in maintaining the stability of the organization. Okay, firstly, the mental improvement. It needs to be done because educators need to confident to struggle in raising the pesantren. After feeling confident, the educators will be loyal. So this is the important thing, or the main thing, that the educators will be loyal to the leader of the pesantren. So it need to create the mental improvement of the teacher, of the educator in the pesantren itself. The second, the loyalty will provide independence, which encourage the heart to create the obedience and discipline. Educators who are loyal to the leaders are far more important than the educators who are expert in all field. Based on this assumption, the leader will recruit young educators who have just graduated or the fresh graduate from high school but are loyal to their superior. The reason is the spirit of educator is the more important, and the problem of competence will increase follow through the experience that is gained. Okay, and then the third, setting priority plans should refer to improve pesantren governance, accountability, and a public image. How can we create a good public image to the society is also the important thing to develop or sustainable of the pesantren itself. So this is some of we found the novelty of our research after we conduct this research. The first is the constructive political values. We need to build a cooperation among the leaders and all the stakeholders involved. And the second, there are some conflict, of course, in a constructive political values. There are some conflict, and how to manage the conflict well, how to solve the conflict well, it also the important things. And the next, the priority, which one is the priority that we should do first and step by step. And how all this is, we need the pesantren leaders in a political system. How can he or she create the political system in a pesantren?
3 minutes left, sir. 3 minutes left, so you can go into the conclusion. Yes. Thank you.
And the last, the conclusion is one of the reason Darul Amin or Daya Darul Amin Pesantren was able to develop was because it was given autonomy in the management of the pesantren with the management independence. So this is the important things as for the leader of the pesantren. The leader can deliver high quality of and sustainable knowledge, management autonomy, and also make it easier for a leader to actualize his politics policy due to lack of intervention from the government. So there are still the government or the institution that support to the surviving of the Daya or the pesantren, but we need to manage and to develop the pesantren ourselves. Okay, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, that's all that I can present today. Thanks for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Hoirul Anwar Tebo, for your great presentations. And once again, for all the participants, if you have any question, you can write it in the chat box and will be answered by Mr. Hoirul Anwar Tebo. Any question? Because there is no question, so we are going to the next presenters. Once again, thank you, Mr. Hoirul Anwar Tebo, for your great presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to the next presenters, and the next presenters will be Desi Tri Anggreni, Wachidi, Nina Kurnia, Muklis Rianto, Edi Susanto. Are you in the meeting? Excuse me, Desi Tri Anggreni, Wachidi, Nina Kurnia, Muklis Rianto, Edi Sutanto. Are you in the meeting? Okay, because once again, Desi Tri Anggreni and friends, are you in the meeting? Okay, now we are going to the next presenters. And the next presenter is Astriwati Bilingkanai and Rahma Gusmawati Tammu. Are you in the meeting? Astriwati Bilingkanai and Rahma Gusmawati Tammu. Are you in the meeting? once again. Astriwati Bilingkanai and Rahma Gusmawati Tamu. Are you in the meeting?
Hello, Mr. Isak. Hello, Mr.
Yes,
Isak.
please.
Uh,
Astri.
okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. For today, we are not going to present it our paper because we have coordination with Miss Judith before.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Now we are going to the next presenters. Rasa Hadi Prasetyo. Are you in the meeting? LJ Purwandari. Please unmute your microphone first. The committee, please help Mrs. LJ.
Yes, wait, sir.
Miss LJ can unmute the mic.
Yeah, it's already on.
Okay, thank you, Miss Judith.
You're welcome.
LJ Purwandari.
Okay, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Please prepare your presentations. LJ Purwandari and Adirasa Hadi Prasetyo will going to present
Okay, okay, sir.
a
Adirasa,
paper entitled
help me to
Student
present.
Perception of Online Learning.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Adirasa, can you help me for presentation?
Ms. LJ Purwandari and Adirasa Hadi Prasetyo have 15 minutes, including question and answer session.
Mr.
Please.
Isak, Mr. Isak, the microphone
Yes.
of Mr. Adirasa
Yes.
can unmute.
Adirasa will be the presenters.
Yeah, yes, please, Pak.
Okay. Yes,
The
thank you.
mic is on. Yes.
Yes, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. You have 15 minutes, please.
In this chance, I want to presentation my paper with Miss Elsa Purwandari. The title is Student Perception of Online Learning Based on Synchronous and Asynchronous Learning. We are now the global COVID pandemic that has been almost accomplished in the world. The pandemic has changed the whole area of life. The world of education is also forced to make macro revolution is adapting to this pandemic. The adaptation is manifested in the learning processes, which was originally face-to-face in class to online learning. The change is face-to-face in class to online learning. At the beginning, until now, the world is dealing with contagious epidemic in the outbreak that became a pandemic in almost all corners of the world was the coronavirus diseases of COVID-19 or the cause of SARS-CoV-2. This pandemic has...
Excuse me, Ms. Adirasa, you can slideshow your presentations.
Let's show. I was can you see my PPT?
Yes, but just click the slideshow.
From figure 1 above, it can be that there are cases of corona that have been officially confirmed on the WHO website. In addition, there were 5 juta sekian people who died, and we are officially confirmed on the WHO website. The number of cases of this sometimes decreases and sometimes increases, sometimes decreases, sometimes increases. This greatly influenced by the lifestyle of the people of its country. Jadi kenaikan dan penurunan kasus COVID-19 itu tergantung pola hidup dan juga respon masyarakat dan sebuah negara untuk menghadapi pandemi itu sendiri. Terhalang. The method, the data collection can be used of online interview instrument with the Google Form application. This interview instrument was given to primary data sources, namely 25 students majoring in guidance and counseling STKP PGRI Sumeneb from the WhatsApp group. While the secondary data sources of these issues are article in journal whose topics are related. Jadi saya mengambil dua data, yaitu data primer dari wawancara kepada mahasiswa saya sendiri dan data sekundernya berupa beberapa analisis artikel, jadi review artikel. Total di makalah saya itu ada 60 artikel dengan bantuan I use the Harding Publish and Paris to get
Mr. Adirasa, the slide not changed.
Not changed. Masya Allah. The method, the data analysis, the data display, data collect, data reduction, and conclusion. And number 1 is online learning.
The presentation is still on the first page, sir. You can go on, just click the slideshow, and then you can continue your presentation. It's still on the first page.
I have click a slideshow, but in your display not be changed yet.
It's not be changed. It's still on first page.
Okay. The signal is very bad in here. A rainy season in here. I have changed my slideshow, but
Okay. Just continue, please.
Okay. Is online learning. Online learning is often the colleague in the process of implementing online learning requests in internet networks. In addition, online learning requires the right information and communication technology support. Next, online learning is processes carried out by utilizing the sufficient of digital technology such as a website, smartphone, laptop, and others. Synchronous learning. Synchronous. I have combined with synchronous learning and asynchronous learning in my lecture di perkuliahan saya memakai kombinasi keduanya. Jadi the syntax is first, I started my lecture by giving a material in the Edmodo application. I use Edmodo application as asynchronous learning. In the second, the material provided is problem-based learning. Jadi materi yang saya berikan di Edmodo aplikasi itu berbasis problem-based learning, yaitu PBL. Jadi kurang lebih tampilannya seperti ini. Sebentar saya tunjukkan. Oke. Apakah nampak Edmodo saya?
Yes, we can see that.
Jadi di situ saya memberi sebuah materi awal. Jadi silahkan mahasiswa mencari satu kasus yang sering terjadi pada siswa dan carikan dari Al-Quran. Ini materinya konseling spiritual. I give some material for my student in the Edmodo application. Third, student give their responses in the comment column of the psychology application. Jadi di sini mahasiswa langsung memberikan tanggapannya lewat kolom komentar. Lewat kolom komentar dia memberi tanggapan, dan kita in this komentar column terjadi diskusi, there are discussion interactively between lecturer and student with student. The fourth, student and lecturer can discuss interactively with their respective argument. Jadi semuanya bisa saling memberi argumen di kolom komentar seperti yang terlihat di sini. Semuanya memberikan komentar, sangat interaktif sekali. Cuma asynchronous learning ini ada beberapa kelemahan. Jadi kita tutup kelemahan itu dengan cara mengkombinasikannya dengan synchronous learning. Jadi I use the Google Meet as a synchronous learning to combine with asynchronous learning in Edmodo. The syntax of my lecture. The lecture invites student to meet and Google Meet to close the lecture. Jadi terakhir, setelah mahasiswa memberikan argumen, diskusi di grup, bukan di grup ya, di aplikasi Edmodo ini, saya ajak mereka untuk menutup perkuliahan di Google Meet. Nah, di Google Meet itu bebas, mereka mau bertanya, mau berdiskusi lagi secara sejenak bisa. Jadi kita tutup. In this application of Edmodo application, the student can be upload the media, can be upload the video, can be upload the material, others, and etc. Jadi Edmodo ini ada kelebihan dan kekurangannya. Jadi saya mencoba mengkombinasikan atau menutupi kekurangan yang ada di Edmodo ini dengan tampilan yang ada di Google Meet. Seperti itu kira-kira. Saya teruskan yang presentasi yang di yang sini. Jadi synchronous learning is online learning or based on synchronous learning can be done by accessing following media. Jadi untuk synchronous learning sendiri bisa dipakai dengan bantuan media Zoom Meeting, Google Meet, Cisco Webex, Microsoft Teams. Meanwhile, online learning based on asynchronous learning can be done by utilizing the following media: Edmodo, Schoology, Google Classroom, and InModel. A combination of online learning based on synchronous learning and asynchronous learning need to be done. Jadi kombinasi keduanya itu sangat penting dilakukan agar kekurangan di sisi satunya bisa dilengkapi oleh sisi yang lain. Jadi keduanya ini saling melengkapi. Itu baru kelas pertama. Kelas berikutnya I combine Zoom with Google Classroom. In next classes I combine Zoom with Moodle and etc. Kita lanjut, biar tidak terlalu sore. This novelty keterbaruan dari penelitian. The combination of synchronous and asynchronous learning in the spiritual counseling course in the guidance and counseling department. Jadi novelty-nya saya rasa itu adalah perpaduan antara synchronous dan asynchronous learning. Edmodo digabung dengan Google Meet. Jadi saya cari di beberapa artikel itu belum ada perpaduan antara Edmodo dan Google Meet. Yang ada itu adanya Google Meet dengan Google Classroom, Google Meet dengan model seperti itu. Jadi saya rasa novelty atau keterbaruan in this paper adalah the combination of Google Meet with Edmodo.
3 minutes left, sir.
Yes, synchronous learning. The tampilannya synchronous learning seperti inilah kira-kira. Jadi mereka bisa bertanya jawab dengan saya dan juga sesama mahasiswa setelah mereka berdiskusi panjang di aplikasi Edmodo. About the perception student of the using Google Meet, ada 4 tuh. Google Meet is easy to use, Google Meet saves kuota, hemat kuota tentunya daripada Zoom. Student can actively discuss in Google Meet, dan juga Google Meet really support online learning. Asynchronous learning yang sudah saya jelaskan tadi juga, tidak perlu dibahas lagi. Kita akan membahas tentang the student perception about the use of Google Meet, about Edmodo, ini salah nulis ini, yaitu Edmodo is easy to use, Edmodo looks like social media, jadi penggunaannya sangat gampang sekali karena Edmodo ini sama seperti sosial media, kayak menyerupai Facebook dan segala macam. Jadi mahasiswa itu meskipun dari berbagai latar belakang, it's very easy to teach them to use Edmodo application. educators and students can discuss each other interactively in Edmodo. Dan yang terakhir, student can study at the time they want. Jadi kelebihannya Edmodo atau asynchronous learning yang berbasis LMS ya, LMS itu Learning Management System. Jadi kita dan mahasiswa bisa saling bertemu tidak pada waktu dan tempat yang sama. Seperti itulah kira-kira. Beda dengan synchronous learning with Zoom meeting, Google.
Excuse me, Mr. Adirasa, 2 minutes left.
Oke, thank you. Selesai, saya rasa sudah selesai. Thank you very much kepada semuanya dan tim saya juga, Bu Elsa Kurandari dan juga moderator. Sukses selalu.
Thank you, Mr. Adirasa Hadi, for your great presentations, and thank you, Mr. Adirasa Hadi, for your great presentations. And for all the participants, if you have any question, you can write it in the chat box and will be answered by Mr. Adirasa Hadi. Any question?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, please, Mr. Harold.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Adirasa. Nice to meet you here. It's nice presentation, Mr. Adirasa and the team. Today, maybe, or in this occasion, I'd like to give you the question or maybe some good response based on your experience in using Edmodo or Google Classroom. In your opinion, or maybe in your finding of the research, which one is the most effective in using the asynchronous learning platform between Edmodo or maybe the Google Classroom? Because as far as we know that both application or both platform is located that and it's look like have some similarities in using. So in your context or in your finding in this research, which one is the most effective one? Okay, thank you, sir.
Please, Mr. Adirasa, answer the question.
Mr. Adirasa can unmute the mic.
Committee, please help Mr. Adirasa can unmute the microphone.
Wait, please. Okay.
Okay, please.
Teman-teman lama ini. Jadi yang paling efektif dari pembelajaran ini adalah belum ada penelitian yang menyebutkan bahwa salah satu Edmodo atau Google Meet itu lebih efektif daripada yang lain. Jadi between synchronous learning and asynchronous learning sama-sama memiliki kelebihan dan kekurangan masing-masing. Jadi ketika we use the synchronous learning with Zoom or with Google Meet, kebanyakan mahasiswa itu mengeluh bahwa Pak ini boros kuota. Jadi tuh mereka mengeluh bahwa kuota mereka habis dengan synchronous learning. Makanya saya selalu mengalokasikan synchronous learning itu di akhir pertemuan sekitar 15 menit saja. Jadi umpamanya perkuliahan saya itu ada 80 menit, jadi 60 menit saya gunakan with the asynchronous learning in Edmodo application. Sisanya 20 menit saya sempurnakan, saya tutup dengan synchronous learning in the Google Meet. Jadi saya kira kalau mana yang lebih efektif, dua-duanya saling melengkapi, Mr. Fairul.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Mr. Adirasa. And now I'm going to recall the presenters that Desi Tri Anggreni, Wachidi Nina Kurnia Muklis Rianto Edi Susanto. Are you in the meeting? Satukan. Tinggal satukan, tunggu satukan. Okay, once again, Desi Tri Anggreni, Wachidi Nina Kurnia, Muklis Rianto. Are you in the meeting? Okay, because there is no Desi Tri Anggreni, Wachidi Nina Kurnia.
Excuse me, Pak Isat. Desi is here. Desi is here. I'm trying to unmute her mic. Yeah, okay. Desi, time is yours.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
Please, you have 15 minutes, and Desi Triangreni will going to present a paper entitled "Supporting and Obstacling Factors in Implementation of Role-Playing Methods to Increase Children's Independence." Mrs. Desi, you have 15 minutes. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you. This my name is Didi Santo. Okay, my topic supporting and advance factor in implementation of role playing methods to increase children independence by Desi Triangreni, Wasidi, Nina Kurnia, Mugistianto, and Santo. And introduction. Based on result of observation made in an by see that the method used was not have many variations of learning methods carried out by early children education teacher all Mawadai Musyarawas. Related to reading, writing, and arithmetic, there are several teachers who previous method they make students less stress and stress monotone based in the character of Mawa Musyarawas early childhood education children who have different character, so we need a learning method that is dependent to early age. Research method, the deeper research used in field research. Research approach in prescriptive research, the research subject and are the principal feature and children of early children education. Al Mawada Musyarawat, data collection, technical observation, interview, dokumentasi, data analysis, data revision, data presentation, and Darwin. Research result and education based on the result of interview with school present when the sport speaks the head of the school Musyarawat still committed that the sporting aspect in implement position apply pressure to invest between independent is the children. Children themselves more the master and remember context in the story that is applied as a player is obligator or and master the context in the story and total so that the more energy of the child will set and the child will come independent. Research result and education supporting aspect the implementation of Asian fly producer to engage student when there is that in trying to more the master and remember the contest in the story being by is obligator of the master the context in story is so that the memory energy of the child will be fed and the child will become independent. The sporting aspect is that children will be tried to be creative and take initiative will playing position other member possession according to the context of the them is where this independent of children is permanent as well as talent that can be acquired in the children so that they must of drama art from school the cooperative of group member and be hosted as well possible. Conclusion: the sporting aspect is that the child will train more the master and remember the context in the story. Being played, player children will be tried in creative in take innovative talent. The children and employees students get the habit of acting and sharing responsive with their peer. On the other hand, the aspect in the most of the children would do not participate in flying decision with their friends by become less active in flying the take off lot of time request of parallel pairs other classes are often taught by sound the flyer and you who sometimes clap hands here and so okay Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentations. And now we come to the question and answer session. And for all the participants, if you have any question, you can write it in the chat box and it will be answered. Any question? Any question? Because there is no question, so this is the end of our session today. And once again, we would like to say thanks again for all the presenters for your informative and interesting talks, and for all the audience for your participation. Hopefully the presentation will be beneficial for everybody. And before we end the session, we maybe all the participants can can activate your video, and then we take the for documentation for this session. Once again, you can on your camera and we for documentation. Mr. Wilson Jeffranto, can you help us?
Okay, I will to take a picture. Please turn on your camera. There are many participants is not turn on. Turn off. Miss Anas, where are you? Where?
Hi, Miss. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Keep smile.
Okay, well done.
Okay.
We still the other room to join in this main room.
Okay, once again, thank you for all your informative and interesting talks, and see you in other conference. Thank you for your attention. Good afternoon. Miss Judith.
Okay. How about room 4?
Yeah, it's finished.
Finished.
Yeah.
Room 1.
Yeah, this is the main session for room. No, room 1. Dwelling.
Miss Ellen.
Let's check.
Yeah, we are finished.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, Pak Wilson, would you please to end all the break rooms, and all the participants can join the main room. Thank you.
Okay. Break. All of room is finished, and I will close. Okay, finished.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for all your attention and all your available time that we are about to end this international conference. Yeah, you may stretch your muscle. Yeah, it's a long day for us, and I know it take much time for you and your energy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before end up our international conference, I'd like to thank you to all the keynote speakers. We had Dr. Anastasia Baan, Dr. Andi Asrifan, SPD, MPD, Professor Jasmina Cook Pelwich. We had Song Feng Tian, we had Dr. Hassal Bilbas, PhD, we had Dr. Ahmed J. Obaid, and last but not least, Dr. Ahmed Elgar. And thank you so much to all participants and presenters who joined this international conference. Without all of you, we cannot make this international conference. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Mr. Roni Labiran to have a closing speech. Time is yours. Oh yes, wait, sir.
Okay. Salam electrical engineering.
Yeah.
Yes, please, Pak Roni. I have unmute your mic. Time is yours, sir.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much for giving chance to me. Thank you very much for all the participants for this afternoon. This is really great that you can join together, and really say thank you for all the people who joined for this international conference in UK. Thank you very much. Greeting to one and all. It's a gift immense and worth and a greater pleasure to grace all of your presence and the interest of the entire committee. It's a gift tremendous and a pleasure to be presenting the closing speech among the most esteemed and personalities who have won accolades in their respective field. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you who have sincerely committed to his event to make it a success. This event have been impossible without the support of each and everyone present here. I would like to say thanks all the participants of International Conference of UKIToiCES, hosted by Teacher Training and Education Faculty, Toraja, who be the speaker at our event today. Thank you for all the keynote speaker in this international conference. Furthermore, I would like to thank all the presenter and participants who have joined in this conference from all over the world. I'm certain that every presenter has presented the application of design research, such as like this one, and educational research, science, and all the topic in this which talk in this conference. I sincerely hope that through your presentation and discussion afterward, all of us can contribute to solving this educational problem in our countries. Even though the contribution may be small, but it is still valuable. Finally, I would like to thank all of the committee members for organizing the conference and ensuring that it proceed smoothly. I would also apologize for any inconvenience that you make an experience during in this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a saying in bahasa Indonesia, ada perjumpaan maka ada perpisahan, which means where there is a meeting, that there will be goodbye. I'm certain that you are looking forward to getting back to respective home. So thanks you once again for your participation. I hope that you enjoy your conference here and a lovely event as well as our conference. And I do also hope that we can meet again in the second international conference of UKIToiCES, hosted teacher training and education faculty at Toraja Christian University of Indonesia, Toraja. Thank you for all. God bless you. Thank you.
See you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you very much to Mr. Ronnie, who had a great closing speech. And thank you so much to everyone, ladies and gentlemen, to end our international conference of teacher training and education to faculty of Toraja Christian University of Indonesia. I'll invite Ibu Pendeta Ona. Are you there? Pendeta Yona? Oh, I'm afraid she is not here. So please welcome. I'll invite Ibu Mercy to lead us in closing prayer.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Judith. So everyone, let us pray together. I will lead in Christian praying. Dear God, the Almighty Hands, we thank thee for your mercy and for your blessing. You give us some strength and wisdom to finish our conference today. Thank you, God. In the name of Jesus, we prayed. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, thank you very much,
Pastor
Ibu
Mercy.
Mercy. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for all your energy and your time, so we can finish the first conference of teacher training and education faculty of Toraja Christian University of Indonesia. And from all the committee, I'd like to end up this conference and this session, and we hope to see you in the next conference next year. Stay safe and stay healthy, everyone, and God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye. God
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson Jokranto.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac, Mr. Ronnie. Nice to meet you, boss. Here,
You're
Miss
excellent.
Judith.
Welcome.
All of you, excellent.
Thank you, Mr. Hairul.
Okay, anytime.
Yes.
Okay, for the certificate, we will send on your email that you in from the form of attendance. Thank you. And all of the
Thank you.
Material of the all of keynote we will send on your email or in link Google
Drive.
Okay, thank you very much for all. We will end this meeting. See you in the lab.